Well, hello there. Welcome again to another day in Deciphering Wellness, where we do everything health enhancement and life empowerment. And today I want to begin with a huge shout out to my worldwide audience. According to the analytics, I have guests here from Malaysia, the Philippines, Australia, parts of Europe, Spain, Germany, Belgium that I know of, Central and South America, Chile, Colombia, and then across the United States, I know of, they say from sea to shining sea, of course, yes. Washington State, Oregon, California, New York, New Jersey, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, a little up the middle with Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Montana, and I am certain that I have missed some of them. So wherever you're coming in here from, and please put that in the comments below. I like the international audience. I do speak other languages, but for this show, I will just use my Southern English, which is the one I know best. Above all others, it's my first go-to. If you want to hear it in the other languages, that may be coming in the future. However, let me get right down to the topic. This one is a bit of a doozy. It's quite delicate, and I'm going to have to tread very carefully because on every level possible, we are a little bit or a lot complicit in this. The topic is betrayal, the foundation of betrayal. Where does betrayal begin? I have covered this in great depth because I do have courses on this, and I do counseling sessions on this. As I've just said in my welcoming video, I'm beginning to be considered the betrayal whisperer. Only these things aren't going to be whispered, they're starting to be said out loud, and soon we can all decipher the betrayal and live free of that. But in the future, as we're going, we're not there yet. So for now, we have what they call a trigger warning. Yes, I'm going to give you that trigger warning because I want everybody to know you're not obligated to finish this, and it could be very complicated, and it could be more than you can handle, and you need to do you and what's best for you. So when we think about the foundation of betrayal, that's wickedness, right? However, what would you think if I told you that the most nefarious part about betrayal is that all of us on some level are complicit in creating this foundation? And we have trained of ourselves to participate, and we don't even ask ourselves why. If we asked ourselves why, we repeat the same nefarious reasons as those given before us. Well, that's the way it's always been done. This isn't about telling your children that there's no ice cream when there is. This is not about, tell the neighbors I'm not here when they come knocking. This is much bigger than that. The picture is so big, and it's not even scary. It's fun, it's exciting, and it is interesting. Were it not so, we wouldn't all be participants. So what am I talking about? Well, it's some tough ones. I'm talking about Santa Claus. That's right, Santa Claus. You know, that wonderful character, that woman who was a saint once upon a time. We're not sure if it was Claus. It could have been Claudine, Claudia, but we do know that Santa is a woman saint. So somewhere in the history of the time, there was a woman saint who did incredible things and was giving and generous. And somehow this has become a man that comes down your chimney and watches everything you do and decides if you get good gifts or bad gifts in this life, especially at Christmas time. And unfortunately, I'm going to follow that up with another character that was also real. And this one is known as Jesus. Now, I need to be very careful here because I do not want anyone to think that I am anti anything. I'm not anti-Santa Claus. I'm not anti-Christmas. And I am definitely not anti-Jesus, anti-Christian, or any other religion for that matter. Jesus was a real person, a real rabbi, a real martyr, a real miracle maker. But he has the same persona now as Santa Claus. Suddenly he watches everything that you're doing and he's there and he's keeping notes. And he doesn't decide whether you get gifts for Christmas or in this life. He decides what happens when you come on the other side. He decides a final judgment. So yeah, now you got two guys watching you. And sadly, these were both amazing characters in the first moment. Amazing people. And I won't even contest what they may or may not have done. That's irrelevant at this point because they're not these nefarious things that we tell ourselves and we tell our children. And, we tell them somebody's watching them, keeping notes and determining what they're going to get in this life and in the afterlife. And then we tell them monsters aren't real. Well, I'm here to tell you that every kid in this world knows monsters are real. They're under their bed. They're in the dark. Well, where do you think they got most of the idea from? Of course, monsters are real. They're probably, elves, Santa Claus, Jesus, watching them. No, maybe they're real. But the whole thing is, this is why it's a betrayal. We tell people to, starting very young, to not believe themselves, not to trust themselves. If you hear something, there's something there. If you don't hear something, there's nothing there, right? And if there's something there and you've been told that somebody, more than one somebody is watching you, wow, that could be really freaky. So this is definitely betrayal. So I'm going to go into a little short story and I'm going to try to keep it brief. I was teaching children in a religious setting, and it was my job to teach them about Jesus. And here we were, Christmas time, and they were 8, 9 years old. There were 4 of them. And I decided, well, let's just go with, how do you believe in something that you don't see and that you don't know, right? Like the monsters. And so I asked them all, how many of you believe in Santa Claus? 3 out of 4, not bad. How about the Tooth Fairy? 4 out of 4, even better. How about the Easter Bunny? 4 out of 4 again. How about Jesus? 2. 2 believed, and 2 were uncertain. They were undecided. I thought that was really interesting because nobody was undecided about any of the others. So I asked them why. Well, pretty much unanimously, Santa ate the cookies. And some parent, bless their heart, because this poor little boy told me, yeah, he knew the Easter Bunny was real because he left poop. Now, I'm not even touching that, okay? Literally. So then we had the one, they all agreed with the Tooth Fairy left money. Now, they were a little confused when they started sharing stories about how much money they got. Started wondering why some got a little more than others. And then I got to, well, what makes you believe these things? Well, there was one that really got my attention, and he was the one that believed in everything still. And I said, why do you believe? And he said, oh, that's easy because my mama told me. Wow, wow, wow. Because his mother told him. I was that child once. He had 3 younger brothers. I had, well, 9 that I grew up with after being the oldest in the home that I grew up in. And there's a huge responsibility in this. And I could really correlate with him because very soon, and of course, one of the little girls was already telling him Santa Claus isn't real, dude. And oh, he was angry because no, his mother told him so. So imagine the betrayal when this little boy, like me and like many of us, found out that, okay, yeah, there is a Santa Claus. There was a Santa Claus, but this guy watching you? No, no, this isn't happening. No one's watching you. No one's keeping notes. So who's deciding whether you get the gifts? Well, that's not even your parents, but this is where it gets even more interesting about the complicity. You see, once I knew there was no Santa Claus, and then I started knowing my parents lied to me. I couldn't comprehend why they would do that, and they wanted me to get complicit. Now, I wasn't supposed to tell anybody else. Not only that, now I was supposed to help in preparing the gifts because we didn't come from more wealthy families to where you just went down there and bought them. Sometimes we went down to the secondhand store and got stuff and cleaned them up and gave secondhand gifts. Well, I became now one of the people helping. Well, I couldn't imagine why I was going to spend all of that time helping preparing these things and then give some dude that didn't even exist the credit. Yeah, Santa Claus brought all this stuff. No, so yeah, I wasn't very good at betrayal. Yeah, I told everybody, and of course, I'm sure that went over well, right? So here I am, I'm the truth teller. Now I'm the scapegoat. When things go wrong, it's my fault because I'm not complicit in this betrayal. Now, there's two sides to every coin. When we cover these coins, and I didn't bring one here. I probably should have, but a coin has two sides. Get that quarter out. It's one coin. 25 cents, no matter which side is up. But what you see and what you describe is so completely different. Go ahead, pull your quarter out, flip it over, look at it. This is a perspective, and this is where you get divided into the two groups between the betrayer and the betrayed. So if you are the betrayer, then you had no problem with this story. It's fun. It's interesting. Let's do this. Let's go with the interesting. So what if it's fun. I get to put out all the gifts and it's great and it's a secret and I like to see the kids surprise. Okay. And then you have the other side that says, no, why are we out here doing this? Why are we giving somebody else credit for our hard work? Now, the ones like me who don't want to go with giving the credit to some fantasy person, we tend to become the ones that are betrayed because people don't want to tell us what's going on. Why would they tell us? We're just going to give it up, right? We're going to ruin the surprise party. We're not even going to believe, we're going to tell them somebody actually put poop on the floor, okay, for the Easter bunny. There is no Cupid, okay? Yeah. So people aren't going to tell you what's going on. You can't be trusted with all the lies because, well, you're going to blow their cover. And they need these lies. Well, you have the other half that appreciate the lies. In fact, they become so accustomed to these lies that they make new ones. And then these lies move into everything else and every facet of life. So I hope that this doesn't trigger anyone too bad. This was kind of a fun topic for me to cover. Also at the time, very challenging because these are all important characters. In fact, okay, so let me tell a little real true story on me. Once upon a time, yeah, they all start like that, right? Once upon a time, I was the Easter Bunny at the Savannah, Georgia Mall. That's a true story. So I know how hot and sweaty that suit is, and how many kids scream when they see me, and who the creepy guy was who put on the suit after me. Okay. This was a $10 an hour gig back in the early 90s, mid 90s maybe. And I thought about that. Yeah, it was great. It made money, but people making their children come see me, that was weird. And how much weirder that must be for Santa. If a child doesn't want to see them, we've got to honor them. So we've got to stop this betrayal. This is just the beginning. This is the groundbreaking foundation. I'm going to have many more videos on this topic. I don't want to get too long-winded because I'm going to lose you somewhere. I'm going to lose me somewhere. This is not going to go well at all. So thank you for coming. And coming up, you will see it in the comments section, and you also see it in the description when it's done. There is a community here, and go into those community pages and you will get links to sign up for my classes. I cover 4 areas of betrayal: betrayal by family, betrayal by corporation, jobs, employment, betrayal by companionship, of course. and I'm forgetting the fourth one, but that's really not important right now. The first four courses are going to begin, the prototype is going to begin the first week of March 2024. Now, I have to time and date stamp this because these are eternal, I guess, YouTube. Okay, so somebody doesn't start watching this 2 years from now and think that in March there's going to be courses and it's a prototype. There will be limited participation. When those links go up, go in, it's going to be going in at half price. That will be $600 a person for the 6-week courses. That will include additional materials, some counseling and recommendations. Because for us to get through betrayal, you have to understand betrayal. Because until you understand betrayal, you can't even decide what you're going to do to get over that, to move on. So I start with just understanding betrayal. And here you have it. The first understanding of betrayal, the foundation of betrayal, all of us are complicit in it. We just tell these straight up lies. We justify it. And so before I go too far, yes, I still will celebrate all of these holidays. But I'm going to tell you, I'm giving you gifts. It's a season of giving. Christopher Columbus, he never set foot in this country. He dropped people off. He drove road ships, okay? He didn't discover anything except a place where people already lived and were doing whatever. And that's the day I was born. So let's celebrate being thankful. Let's celebrate a day for lovers, Valentine's Day. Let's celebrate Easter. But let's not do the betrayal by creating these nefarious characters. And you want to give your children something for their teeth? Well, give it to them. Here you go, honey. Give me up your tooth and I'm going to give you a quarter. I don't know, quarter, $20, whatever the going rate is. I don't know. So this is a tough decision that we make as parents and as a community, a worldwide community, how we're going to handle these things and stop the betrayal and start letting people learn how to trust their gut and stop participating in these complicit events. So I end as I always do. Namaste, as I recognize the divine part of each of you as you travel this journey through life. Until the next time, ciao.